A website is probably the most important piece of marketing material any photographer can have. But what does your website say about you as a photographer? Have you got the content right for your target audience? And will it win you business, or will it make clients turn away and look for someone else? In this episode, we're going to look at several different photographers' websites and discover if their sites are doing what they should be.
Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Use coupon code CARL to get a 10% discount.
One thing is for sure, if you're going to run a successful photography business, you need more than just a Facebook page or an Instagram account. Clients, whether commercial or social portraits, want to dig a little deeper to understand who they are dealing with and the quality of the work that they can expect. The way you come across via your website is crucial, and the message you should be relaying should be based on the market you're trying to appeal to. If you're a social portrait and wedding photographer, then it's highly likely that your website should have a more soft and friendly feel than a commercial product photographer. A food photographer may require a more intimate feeling to their website than a fine art photographer, and it's easy to get lost when building your website. We often can't see the woods because of the trees. So what I thought I'd do today is explore several different photographers' websites that I've never explored before, and give my first impressions of how they reflect that photographer's work and ambitions. Maybe you can join me in assessing how they feel to you too. And if you enjoy this episode, let me know and we'll do it again sometime. So, to draw in a variety of websites, we put a shout out on our Facebook group to photographers who are members of our platform, and we selected several at random. Let's kick things off and see how they come across.
So EmilyMillerPhotos.com, first impressions, quick scroll down the site, high quality food photography. Looks good, looks clean, it's all food, very focused food, definitely, no doubt what this website is about. Interestingly, at the top is book a call, so not a bad little feature. Emily's trying to get you in there straight away on that. The homepage, this is the homepage. There is no follow-on galleries. There's a little bit about Emily, which is always nice. It's nice and clean. Why I'm different, food focus, simple approach. This is a nice page. It's nicely laid out, and there's some good information for potential clients to look at and study there. And then we have a contact page, all nicely laid out. My only slight reservation with this site is that there is literally only the one gallery. We can click an image, but there's no further images within that particular image or within that section. So we are simply limited to what's on display on the home page, and it doesn't maybe feel quite rich enough in content that maybe there should be a little bit more to show there. Next one. Another food photography site, Paddock to Pixel. Interesting name in the connotations that brings to mind, but I'm not keen on sort of odd names for photographers' websites. I prefer photographers just to use their own name and stand behind their own name. Now, it looks like there's a high quality food image immediately there on the home page. Some good stuff, but it's very small to see. And then immediately this homepage is more about techniques or, styling and props, recipe development and testing. It's more about the process of what this photographer does rather than the photography results itself, which is an unusual way to tackle it. Then there's this menu, image portfolio, which I've just clicked. It's taking some time to load, and I've got a fiber optic high-speed connection here. So Okay, we're into some imagery now, broken down into categories, which is quite nice because we've got colourful, dark and moody, light and airy. And that is a good way of doing things because art directors do like to see that. It's a real shame this imagery wasn't on the home page immediately presented, because this is high quality imagery and it's kind of hidden. It's hidden, you know, before we can get there. Then we've got the dark and moody section. Now this is, you know, completely different to the first website we looked at. This has got more depth, more substance to it in terms of the choice of images, the categories of images available. But unfortunately, this photographer feels like they're almost hiding because the name Paddock to Pixel doesn't reflect who they are. And whilst they do have, it looks like a photo of themselves on the homepage and hello, I'm Julia, the problem is that I don't think art directors and potential clients are necessarily interested in this stuff right away at the front. For me, if I was the art director, I'd be interested in this stuff right at the front. I want to know that this photographer can deliver the results for me, get the job done, and the images are the proof of the pudding, if you like. Now, they've got other categories, recipes here, and a few other bits about. Great, that's all fine, no problem. Work with me, services, extra information and detail, and it's all laid out okay. But I'm not confident in that homepage. I'd really prefer to see more high quality imagery and some of those image portfolio categories on the homepage, even if it was just a few of them with some breakdown of that light and airy, dark and moody, colorful, that sort of thing, so that we could get straight into the images. This sort of information is secondary pages in my point of view, and it's a real shame because there's some really good quality work there. And again, you know, without looking, I don't even know who this photographer is. Let's have a look. The name Julia. There we go, Julia Warrington. But, you know, I've had to do a bit of digging because the website's called Paddock to Pixel, which in some ways is, you know, it's playful, but it doesn't feel as professional from a commercial point of view in a commercial photography world. Okay, let's move on to this one. Caroline Reed Photography. So immediate impressions, never seen this. It looks fashion orientated. We get down to the bottom, we see hair and beauty, clothing, accessories, advertising, lookbooks, e-commerce. So it is fashion orientated, and that's the impression that I got. The photography looks high quality. Let's look at the portfolios here. So there is a drop down on the portfolio to change into other genres or subgenres. All nice and clean, very simple to follow. Roll my mouse over, lookbooks and e-commerce. Yep, I think this website does what it needs to do. It's almost a little bit clinical, but a lot of brands and a lot of art directors like that. It's easy to navigate, it has clarity. So yeah, this is doing what it needs to do. Now, interestingly, we've got prices here. This is unusual to see on commercial photography sites because quite often prices are negotiated. So we've got prices full and half day rates there, and they're presenting their prices up front. I mean, they seem very low, the prices, to be honest, for commercial photography for an 8-hour shoot or a half-day shoot, so maybe underselling themselves a little bit. Terms and conditions. I don't think there's anything wrong with having your day rate there, but you know, immediately for this photographer, there is no getting out of these prices now. That is the price. The client's seen the price. There's no room for negotiation. Now, what happens if this photographer had an art director come to them from one of the agencies wanting to negotiate a shoot for a larger brand or a label, etc.? Then all of a sudden they've boxed themselves into a corner by listing those prices up front there with no room for maneuver or negotiation now, which I find a little bit unusual. Okay, moving on. So we have Sarahzelda. Very clear name. That's also the homepage link, which is common. Lovely work, beautiful fashion work. Immediately, straight away, this is just ringing out fashion and beauty imagery. That section's editorial. Analogic is the next section, which I'm assuming is just meaning film photography in black and white. I have no idea, to be honest. And then an advertising section. Looks nice and clean. A little bit limited there, only 6 or 7 images there. Film, so I guess we're showing some video work here. And yes, they are. And it looks high quality, so that's good. So overall, I think this website looks great. But oh, okay, good. I was going to say it was limited in content, but actually when you click the images, there is further content beyond it when we're on the editorial page, which is nice. It expands out to show you more of the images that are available to you. So that seems to do what is necessary. On the contact page, though, a little bit limited. The photographers, hasn't detailed where they are. There's no phone number. There's no further information. And again, from a commercial perspective, that makes me feel like, well, what are you hiding? What are you not saying because of what you're saying? And, or what are you saying because of what you're not saying? There is no contact email address to reach out to, no telephone number, no idea of which country they're based in, location, etc. It's all quite limited in that respect. But the website itself is laid out very cleanly and works very well. Next website, Perfectpicturedk. What do we got here? Events, products. I'm clicking these links, but nothing's happening. There's a number there, page 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4. There's a small home button up in the corner. And this is clickable in the left, but it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, this is weird, right? Look at that. I didn't even know that there was any information further down because I'm trying to find a menu that will actually allow me to navigate somewhere or click something like, okay, I want to find out about events or product photography. And I'm constantly trying to click the things that say the items and nothing's there. And I have to scroll down to find a little bit more information. Now, this website is in German. It's a German website. Contact me. There is no further images. This is very odd. Maybe this site is in development still, I don't know. But if it isn't, then it's definitely not working because there needs to be pictures. You can't sell your services as a photographer with 4 cover images. It's just not possible. I'm just going to translate this into English just to make sure that I'm not missing anything and seeing that there's a further link. No, just contact me information asking what they can help you with, but no further galleries to look at. So that website needs a lot of work to carry that through. We can't have a photographer's website without photography. Next one, wilsonsantinelli.com. So immediately I'm seeing sort of fashion street photography. That's the first impression. Gets very busy down here. We've got a lot of sort of corporate reportage, editorial photography. Now I'm not quite sure what this photographer is focusing on. Huge focus on the amount of brands they've worked for, which can sometimes be good as an endorsement, but it really is a little bit overpowering on that homepage. So the first page is that one, the homepage. Then who I am. Okay, that's the same page as we had before for the homepage, the who I am page. So that doesn't make any sense. Then we've got corporate photography as the priority here. So we finally get into the photography, corporate. Then there's some sub-menus, reportage, events, portrait. It's a shame because the portrait work seems to be the strongest, but it's not at the front. But maybe this photographer has found that they're busier in corporate reportage and event stuff than the other categories. Nice clean website type e-product category images. But again, a lot of this stuff is repeated and it's sort of hidden. But wait a minute, the Who I Am page has finally appeared now when I clicked it. Yeah, a lot of it is kind of, well, the homepage is a little bit confusing to look at. I really, struggle with, there's so much information on the homepage there. I'm not that confident in that. Then we have another section on commercial photography, still life. Yeah. It's a little bit all over the place, this website. Fashion, a lot of categories. It's almost like the photographer that doesn't really know where they want to go with their work. We've got food now as well. And it's all shot to a competent level, but there's no real focus on what they're really good at or what they're really passionate about. It's as if they're trying to cover all bases, probably in terms of covering all bases to maximize revenue, but I don't think it's laid out in a way that sells itself very well. There's another section here on marriage as well. So wedding photography in there too, with all of that commercial work. And then another section called portfolio, which is then a repeat of just far too much navigation, I'm not even going to go into the blog. There's some competent work on there, but it really does need to be laid out and categorized, and the navigation of the site needs to be far, far clearer and far easier to operate. AnaDorado, immediately, first impressions are okay, sort of commercial photography. There's a sort of semi-food shot, product shots. Then we've got navigation across here to look at some pictures. Looks like you can drag them as well, which is good. So that's okay. I kind of prefer, though, to see images all in one go than I do having to do this carousel thing, because I kind of feel like, all right, I'm not really getting to see everything that I want to see. Now they've gone with a very bold statement here. Your products were made to sell. So if you were a company, you'd be thinking, yeah, this is great. This person knows what I want. But how do we get to see things a little bit easier? So we've got a menu, very large menus that, cause me to have to scroll. It doesn't need to be that big at all. Then we've got the home page, about page, branding, products, workshops, testimonials, shop, blog, contact, and all of that is spaced out so large. I mean, it's, they've done it from a design perspective, but I'm not sure it's necessarily the most effective route. And then the first thing they choose to do is the about page. I don't think the about page is the first thing we need to choose to do. I think we need to focus on the work. Your brand visibility starts with you, so that's great. It's a great little statement. What my clients say, that's all nice and clear. That's the sort of stuff that clients are going to want to see more than anything, is the photography and what you can do for them. So the About Us page, which is about the photographer, is something that should be the latter part of the website, not the primary part of the website. So then we move down, they run workshops, they've got testimonials from other customers, which is always a good idea. Then shop, I don't know what they're selling in the shop. Backgrounds, this is a little bit odd for them to be selling some other items. Blog, contact, join my circle. Okay, there's some positives and there's some negatives on that particular site. The positives being that the clarity of message is good in some places in terms of what a client wants to hear and a client wants to see, but it's a little bit back to front in its organization in terms of what do you want to prioritize, what do you want to bring to the front. Next one, Mark Landridge, straight in there. Sorry, Mark Langridge, straight in there. Clean, clear. Immediately I see really high quality lifestyle, environmental portrait, people, some sort of fashion lifestyle stuff. And it's really nicely presented, and there's a broad range of imagery across there. Works really well. Looks very much sort of like stock photography, high quality stock photography. Nicely produced, nicely done. And that category, that photographer is listed as life, which is exactly bang on, I would say. They've also got a section on product with some quite nice, clean product work, very simple, very clear, very much e-commerce sort of looking product work, but ticks the box, gets the job done. So that's presented quite well. They have a film section, so they're doing some video work as well, and then an info section last, which is exactly as I would expect rather than prioritizing yourself to the front. Nice little client list there as well, which again adds confidence for potential clients when they can see the sort of people that you've worked for. Then a little Instagram social media link. So this website is very clear, straight to the point. You know what you're getting, you know the quality of the work, and you know what type of work the photographer does with just a couple of clicks, and it's all laid out in front of you. So I think that website is very effective. There's some strange anomaly in the corner with some numbers appearing up there in the top left. I don't know what that little bug is, but other than that, that's all working really, really well.
Having worked in this business for so long, what I do know is that clarity is key. In my own website, I try to maintain clarity of message, and it's designed to appeal to the markets that I want to be active in. Hopefully, many of you will agree with my comments and critique of some of those websites. And of course, some of you will have your own opinion. Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this episode, also let us know, and we'll run another one with other websites in the future. Thanks for watching.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Carl to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.